All right. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. So, um, today's topic is capital and credit in trucking. Give everybody a few minutes and stuff to get in here. So, same deal as always. As you come in, check and see. We'll give me a sound check. Let me know everything is all right, and we'll go ahead and start to chop up this good game. Trucking with Blue Money. What's going on? Sound cool? Okay, all right, man. Um, so give everybody a few more minutes and stuff to get in here. Um, hey, where you at today, Truck with Blue Money? Jamaican Trucker SD. All right. Oh, Jamaican. Excuse me. Man, home chilling. Man, shoot. I hate you, man. Daggone, I wish I was doing the same thing. South Georgia. All right. Yep. Shoot, can't beat that. I guess I'll be chilling tomorrow and stuff. All right. BP Thomas Trucking. What's going on? All right. Dior. What's going on? Yeah, I'm gonna be out tomorrow and stuff. I gotta take this load up to. I'm going to Sonic Mass and stuff. Drop that off at 5, and then I pick up in Tewksbury, Texas, heading to California. Yep. Well, somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it. Unfortunately, it's you, my friend. Just bought a truck. Got two now. Okay. All right. So you got the you got two now. So what kind of truck you wind up getting? Cause I know you were saying you were going after, like, I think you had like a classic, didn't you? I didn't notice that back there. All right. That's what that is. Okay. All right. So let's see. We got 3 minutes in and stuff. So we'll go ahead and break into today's topic. Let's see. You got a 97 white GMC Volvo, 400,000 original miles. Only paid $8,000. So when you got the Volvo motor, or the 60 series in it. Bought my truck last week. All right. What's your thought on a high mileage DD15? I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go into that. Okay, you got the Volvo motor, M11 plus. Okay, you got the Cummins. Okay, all right, good. So that's the almost like the M14. So, hey, Dior, I'm gonna answer that question and stuff about the high mileage DD15s and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and cover this topic first while it's fresh on my mind and everything. So, um, just bear with me. I'm gonna get to it. Excuse me. All right, so today's topic is capital and credit. So it's not capital versus credit. It's capital and credit. And so what is capital first? Capital is the money. Let's see, 600,000 to 800,000. Okay, got you. All right. All right. Okay, I got you. So capital and credit, not capital versus credit. So what is capital? Capital is the money that you can make doing the job that you're doing. And so, I chose this particular topic, trucking, right? Because a lot of us are aspiring to become own operators, have our own authority, so on and so forth, to run our own business. And so with that, you need either one or two things. Either you need the capital to run your business, or you need the credit, to get yourself started. Let's see. Okay, all right. Enjoy your home time, man. So, again, capital is the money that you make in the business, and then credit, of course, is what's extended to you so that you can start your business. And so, what you want to do is you want to work these. You want all hands on deck. The more you start to get more invested in your business, get things and stuff started out, you need all hands on deck. So you need yourself, right? So a lot of people are going to be starting out with absolutely nothing. You're not going to have anything to your name or whatever and stuff like that. So a lot of people decide to go to lease purchase programs or go to a 1099 company. And so that's basically what you're doing. If you're if you get into a lease program, then understand you're an own operator, and it's just that the company is giving you the tool necessary for you to go out here and accomplish the goal. Now, when someone, let's see, okay, preacher, what's going on? So, when you're borrowing a tool or whatever, when you're borrowing whatever and stuff, then they have certain stipulations that you have to abide by, unfortunately. But that's to secure that their business and stuff is taken care of, because they're in the business of loaning things out, whether it's money, tools, equipment, whatever. So that's how they make their profit. And of course, trucking is no exception. They're loaning you the truck, they're loaning you the insurance and everything and stuff that comes with that. Now, because of us having little to no knowledge about the business in trucking, because again, there's no colleges that you can go to. You don't get any kind of degrees or whatnot and stuff. You just get a license. That's that. Everything else has to be taught to you. You have to learn it on a whim, so to speak. If someone decides to give you this information, it's not readily available. So this is why we network to put this information out here, so that those inquire that want the information, it's there and it's readily available, providing that you humble yourself to the information. So that's the purpose of a lease program and stuff. Just call it for what it is and stuff. It's just they're loaning you the tool to go out here and to do the job and stuff in the business that you're trying to run. Now, let's see, finally caught you. All right, Mr. Army guy. You guys, sorry if I keep stopping or whatever and stuff. So anyway, as I was saying, is that when we go into all those things fall under credit and stuff. Lease programs, those sort of things there, because you're trying to get capital, and you shouldn't feel, no one should feel bad about starting out with absolutely nothing. One of the movies that I recommend people watch, and not for an entertainment purpose, but to get some information, is this movie they call There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood and stuff. If you can look at that movie from a business perspective, then you can understand just about everything that you're going to go through, and starting your business and stuff like that. The trustworthiness, some of the tactics you got to use, some of the people you're going to run into and stuff, so on and so forth. So the ultimate goal is to get capital, but anything that you can get that can move you to the next step, because you never know. Well, you always want to be ready for the opportunities and stuff at hand. And so, the capital is not always readily accessible. So this is what you use the credit and stuff for. Unfortunately, because of people not having plans, on how to pay back the credit. You know, your credit where you work hard and stuff to ascertain it and stuff is good, now it's bad. Because, you know, people just fail to have a plan and stuff in place on how to pay that money back. Because once you sign on the dotted line, and stuff, you know, they might give you 45 days or something like that. And so, you know, everything is running in a 28-day cycle. And you're going to have 12 payments no matter what you do. You know, it's 12 payments in a year, and every 28 days you're going to be paying somebody and stuff if you borrow something. You know, that's on the credit side. Now, some people and stuff want their money a little bit sooner than that and stuff. And so you're talking about 52 weeks. So your operation that you run, your business that you run, should also be a 52-week operation, meaning you're running every week. Your business is running every day, 24 hours, 365. You know, it's not to say that you have to be in there. It just means that you have to have a plan in order to tackle the issues and stuff in your business. So, with credit, when credit is available to you, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's good because now you have what's needed in case you want to expedite things. But you know, it's also bad because if you don't have a plan in place to make those payments and stuff to get everything caught back up and give them their stuff back, you know, with interest, then, you know, you fall behind and then you lose everything that you have, you know, in place of that. So, as it pertains to trucking, you know, we're seeing a lot of people now qualify for loans and stuff like that. You know, not just bank loans. You got the government now giving you loans and stuff and those sort of things there. But it must be emphasized, it is for your business. And so if one has an understanding, and that's what we're here to do and stuff, to get that understanding about credit and how you can capitalize on it, then you move towards the next step, which is, you know, making sure that you have the capital in place of your credit, and so you take your credit and move on to the next things in your business. So let's just say you go and you apply for a loan and they give you a loan for $100,000. All right, Mr. Turner. So they give you a loan for $100,000, right, for your business. So you're gonna have to start making some investments and stuff in your business. Now, depending where you are, as far as your knowledge will determine where the money and stuff needs to go. If you have very little insight about the business, then you should only invest very little. You know, you should be increasing your knowledge. Right now, if you qualify, doesn't mean that you have to sign on the line and get it, because remember, your plan has to be in play. So you're approved for this amount. All right, you're approved for this amount. The people that need to get the credit are those that have an understanding about the industry. And so follow me and I'll get you to that point. If you are someone that's just starting out, right, again, you have very little insight about the business, then qualifying for that amount of money, how are you going to pay it back? How are you going to do it? Well, I'm going to drive a truck. Do you know how to make money in trucking? Because, you know, you're not going in from a company driver's perspective. You know, you have to go in, if you're a business person, then you see you're doing all the heavy lifting, you're doing all the thinking, even though there are people that's there and stuff, you know, that's kind of doing the stuff for you, so to speak. You know, if you're going into a lease program or you're leasing on somewhere and they are finding loads and stuff for you, you know, again, you need to get familiarized with how the whole operation works and stuff. You know, where's the money come from? How much is it? Is there any consistency? You know, do a complete and total assessment to see where you stand, and then they'll let you know right there, okay, can I move to the next step? You know, because you can sit there, work a whole month and not make $1. And you done did all this work. You done delivered over 20 some loads and stuff in a month, and you don't have a penny to show for it and stuff, you know, because all your money went to not understanding the industry and stuff and how it works. You know, you did loads for pennies on the dollar where you should have been profitable, you know, but not understanding things such as lane rates, you know, fuel costs, operational costs such as tolls, those sort of things there, you know, those secondary costs. You look over those things there, and then you find yourself in the hole. So if you sat there and you got that loan, right, then how can you pay them back if you never made any money? So now you got to start making phone calls to creditors to see if they can give you an extension. Okay, then things begin to double up on you. So as they double up and you're still, now you got to figure out how to pay this money back. You got that stress on you. You're trying to learn the business itself and stuff, and then you have this truck, you know, you have this equipment, and then it begins to take a tank on you and stuff like that because you have very little insight about the business. Now, you know, you just become completely overwhelmed, and now you're out of business. You got bad credit, you're out of business, and you're saying, well, you know what, hey, trucking was the worst thing I ever done. You know, trucking was the worst thing I ever done. When we do an assessment on everyone's situation, and we can see that they were overwhelmed by the fact that things were available to them and the information that they had wasn't adequate enough to sustain their business. And this is why people fail. It doesn't have anything to do with money or the economy or none of this stuff there. Is that, you know, it's something that's available, you know, I have it, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it a try, when that's not what it's about. You know, you got to have your plans and stuff in play. So let's go into it again. You put in your applications and stuff like that, and you see that you're approved. You got this line of credit. They're giving you, creditors are giving you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 worth of credit. You know, you have $100,000 available, you know, for your business. So meantime, now you have an understanding of the business and how it works. You see, you have you know where the money's going to be coming from, the type of loads you're going to be doing, the lanes, the type of equipment that you need. You know, you have the costs and stuff, and I ain't saying down pack, but somewhat of an understanding, because the more you do it, the more you'll get a better understanding about what you do. So again, you know, you take the steps just like it is going to school. You know, you're not going to go to college on the first day and all of a sudden have the curriculum mastered. You know, it takes time. And so, you know, those who dedicate themselves, right, to the craft of learning are the ones that's going to get it down packed, more than so than those and stuff who don't. You know, if you want to go and party and have a good time, when you know that business and stuff is at stake, you know, business and money needs to be made, then okay, you know, more power to you. So as those things become readily available, and then you know what you need, right, you'll also know how to take advantage of the credit so that you can get the capital necessary, so that if you borrow anything, you're paying it back with very little interest. You know, you're not riding it out for the whole, I don't need the whole 5 years, I just need enough to get everything on the up and up, right? And a safety net to make sure that my business stays afloat. Meanwhile, what I'm doing is that in my business is that I'm taking the credit and paying it back, because it's a safety net. Because remember, you got to pay every 28 days. That's your safety net. Meanwhile, what you're doing in your business is that you're taking your capital and building up your capital to a point to where the money that you need to sustain your business is now put in place. So if you're if they gave you $100,000, now you got $100,000 worth of capital, so you can now pay that loan and stuff back. You can pay that loan and stuff back. You got the capital that's needed in your business, and then you take what's left, what they gave you, right? You pay that money back and stuff, and then, you know, you pay that little interest, and so that capital now sustains your business. And being that you got both of them in play, your capital and your credit, in a bank that collects interest, that's what you know, that's what you're able to live off of and stuff. For instance, if you got 100,000 and then you put away 100,000 in capital, you got $200,000, which means your capital is working for you, your credit is working for you, right? You know how to pay these things back and to ride them out if you need to. And so you got everything in play, or you just pay it back all together and you let your capital sustain your business now, which means that you are now profitable because you're debt free. All right. So, again, all hands on deck means that, when you decide that you go out here and you go out here on your own, you get your own contracts and stuff like that. You are a independent contractor. You got your own authority. That means you have a contract somewhere, maybe with a small business. And so with that small business, you become their primary transportation provider. So you have the capital on your business to keep that thing on, to keep your business on the up and up. But you also have credit available. And so with this small business, you also know that they're going to, whatever product and stuff that they're selling or they're making, there's going to be room for growth. And so when they begin to grow and you're their primary transportation provider, they're also going to be letting you know, well, hey, listen, other lanes are going to be opening up. And so with these lanes opening up, right, I'm going to need you to get more trucks or more equipment, to handle the volume. You can't sit there and say, okay, yeah, I'm just going to still be a one truck, one trailer operation, because then what they're going to do is go out there and look for another transportation provider that has the capacity to cover the volumes of freight and stuff that they're going to be pushing out of their business as they grow. So, you can't just sit there and stagnate and say, well, this is what I'm going to be right here and stuff. As they grow, you got to grow with them if you're going to be their primary transportation provider. So, once they sit down and you see what they need and stuff like that, then the next step is that, do I have the capital necessary to make the next step to make my because now my fleet has to grow. And as my fleet grows and stuff, so is my need to be in certain places or whatever, So now you can start talking about getting out of the truck and saying, well, yeah, I'm gonna do a 9 to 5 because I'm gonna be here in the office, Load tenders are going to be coming to me. It's not going to be a one truck, one trailer operation no more. The business grew. I got contracts and stuff signed in for this amount right here. I'm going to need X amount of trucks, X amount of equipment. Whether you decide to run it for yourself or you decide to give it out there to others and say, it's there, it's available, but you got to be the one to monitor it, right? So you don't have the capital necessary to expand. But you understand the business plan, the business platform. This is where you go back into your credit. You go back into your credit, the same credit that you either have or you got paid back. And then you say, well, look, this is what I need right here because I'm coming with a plan. It's pretty, it's a pretty solid plan, right? So you'll know what type of equipment that you have to have. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go to a lot and just buy a truck? Or do you want to go over here to Ryder and Penske and get a truck and stuff that way? You set up your operation there. That's where you can truly start talking about, yeah, I'm going to get out of the truck now. I'm not going to be in there operating it no more and stuff. I'm gonna be at the house because it's necessary for me to do it. You hire somebody to do the job and stuff, which is to move the freight up, up and down the road there and stuff. But again, that's going to come with some cost too, because they're not going to be able to operate the equipment the way that you operate. You got an understanding of it, but the next people that you hire, they're not going to have that same understanding that you do. So you pass the information along and hope that, well, things on the up and up, but you prepare for the fact that, well, okay, you drive the truck, you know how to get the truck to 7.5 miles to the gallon, right? Because there are certain habits that you have, driving skills that you have, but the next person, they might not be able to do that. They might be able to get maybe 6, 8 or 7 miles to the gallon. That's fine too. The best thing that you can do is set the equipment up to a point to where that's what it can get on an average. You set your business up to a point to where if you have drivers coming to your place and want to work, right? The one to work and stuff, then they know this is going to be a wonderful place and stuff to work. Prime example, let's look at companies like Prime and look at companies like RST. Now, if a person is inquiring about where do they want to go and stuff to work, where do people typically go to? They go to RST. RST got a waiting list, even though they do freight for Prime, because this operation is something that he can oversee, because he does the business itself and stuff. He knows how to communicate with the drivers, so on and so forth, to keep the morale up to a point to where people aren't doing things foolishly. You can see a lot of people over there at RST are getting the trucks washed every week and getting the chrome, getting the trucks polished and chromed and stuff chromed out, as opposed to Prime, where, Prime is somewhat on that same case and stuff like that. But I mean, to catch Rob Lowe, you got to be, you got to be there at the terminal and stuff like that, playing basketball and stuff. So he's not going to be one to talk business over to you, unlike Chris, who, if you come to him with a business platform and stuff, I'm pretty sure that he's able to give you a breakdown of the game and stuff and how it works. But again, once upon a time, Chris started out from a credit perspective, right, where he was getting his trucks through quality. And so we all understand how quality and stuff work. It's a lease program where, you got to pay these guys weekly. And so now, he moved from there and he got his trucks and stuff through the dealership where he paid him once a month. So what did he do in that time? He moved his stuff from credit to capital. And when he moved to capital and stuff, then, that's when he got over there and stuff and started buying his trucks and stuff like, through the dealerships and everything. But, still having that ace in the hole, which is that credit. And so that credit is able to say, well, if I need something, I can go get it. Let me go over here to Pedigree. And stuff, and grab some equipment and stuff from over there, right? Just to get this, just to get my capacity up to par, And so once I get my capacity up to par, then I'll get those trucks and stuff back, and I'll go over here and get me some more equipment. So what about Woody? Well, I can't speak on Woody's situation. The only thing I can say, he put the video out and stuff, so learn from that. I'm just using an example of people that are in it, right? People that are in it. But I don't want to speak on a situation to where it may cause controversy, right? But no one's above criticism, man. No one's above criticism and stuff. And so the only thing I can say in Woody's situation is that his stuff is still up, right? His videos are still up. So it's something that you can learn, right, from this very situation that I'm saying, is that, you got capital and you got credit. And so if credit is what you have right now, well, that comes with the territory. That comes with the territory of running your business and stuff. Is that, unfortunate as it may be, those are things that are going to happen. These are the pitfalls and stuff in business. We hope that, guys can get out here and do what they supposed to do and stuff like that. But hey, accidents are going to happen. That's why you have insurance. This is why you have insurance. It's a slow process, but again, if your capital is on point, right, then when those pitfalls and stuff happen, you just go over there and you just take care of these things. Companies like Swift, all your mega carriers, Swift and your Snyders and stuff, their insurance only covers anything over $1 million, right? That's their insurance. Anything over $1 million, then that's when the insurance kick in. So if they go out here and have a wreck, and they hit a car and stuff, and the damage is like $80,000, then guess what? Swift is gonna be cutting a check for $80,000. That's out their money. There's no insurance and stuff available. But when you have a business, but you see, that's them putting their capital away, right? And not so much relying on credit. So when things and stuff like that happen, they cut the check and they keep it moving. Those sort of things there. They got people in play to see if they can get the damage and stuff down, their own agents or whatever. But for the most part, everything that they do, these mega carriers, they say, man, listen, we anything over $1 million, yeah, we'll get, you know, that's when we got to get insurance. Anything below that, so, you know, hey, you figure, hey, you do a couple $100,000 in damage and stuff, man, they're cutting a check for $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. That's how it works, you know. So, you know, being in a, you know, in a small business and stuff like that, you know that you're going to need insurance and stuff for those type of issues and stuff there. But as your capital begins to grow, you know, you might have 4 or 5 trucks and stuff, and then you're over here with you got 4 or 5 trucks, but in your business, you know, as it begins to grow and you put more capital set aside in your business, you'll see, well, some of these insurances and stuff, I don't need them anymore. I don't need these insurance policies anymore because I have the capital necessary to cover these sort of things there. So what that capital does is that it's always accessible to you, right? It's there at all times. There is no interest, or if you want to set an interest and stuff on it, that's fine. That's something that you do, you know, and you pay your own self back. You know, it's not like something they're sending you some kind of bill through the mail. It takes you having to say, okay, well, I set myself up on this type of plan right here to get this money and stuff put back in there, you know, and this is what I got to do to get the money back in there. Once it's there, you know. So again, the capital is something that you control. That's where you ultimately want to be at. The credit is something that's there that can help you get to your goal if used correctly. So you don't rely so much on the credit and stuff, you know, throughout the whole basis of your business, because ultimately you want to be totally and completely independent of everything. And if you're using the credit, then the credit is only used to the purpose of you ascertaining capital. So you have the capital and stuff necessary. You want to get the line of credit and stuff that's there, combine it with your capital, and then collect on the interest that you can get for the capital that's in these banks. You know, when you're sitting here with millions of dollars in the bank, right, and they're in the right places, then you see you're also able to invest in the other things too, you know, secondary and thirdary businesses, you know, and you got other streams, other lines and stuff of capital and stuff that's coming in, you know. So and this is what people do. And so, you know, when it's time to make a payment or whatever, and you know, you just pay it back. You pay it back with the credit. You pay it back with the credit money and stuff like that, you know. So it's not taken away from you, but you're not so overwhelmed that all of your capital now is going back to paying your credit. It's working in tandem with each other, you know. So if you got like I said, you know, you got 10 million of capital, your money sitting in the bank, and then you got 20,000, you got another $10 million, excuse me. You got 10 million your money, 10 million of credit that's sitting in there, 20 million. And so, you know, you look at the interest that you collect after 28 days of it sitting in the bank, if you got it in the right place, and you allow the people to invest and stuff like that, and then, you know, so see, I mean, and you keep, you know, your profit and stuff like that, you know, your profit, you always keep your profit small. You always keeping your profit small and stuff because that's what it is. But, you know, the business is taking care of itself as well. You know, all the things that you want to do. You got a house, okay, you got a car. As long as you ain't doing it lavishly or whatever, you know, you need a car to go to work, but, you know, the car is written off on the business. The house, you know, that might be the only thing that you can't write off, but everything else is going to be connected with your business. You know, you want to go on vacation, then you know, you set up a business trip and stuff like that. You and a couple of investors, or you and your the people that this primary transportation provider, you set something up and then see if you qualify. You know, you know, you have a business meeting for 2 hours on some ship, you know, serving pina coladas and prime rib and stuff like that. You know, you just got to sit 2 hours and see us, you know, go through slides and stuff like that, things that you already discussed, that you already know, and then the rest of the time is fun in the sun. You got the whole thing written off as a business expense. You see, so, you know, ultimately you want to be in control. You want to get that capital. That's the first thing you want to do. And once you got the capital, you know, the credit is able to do whatever it wants. If you want to return it back, if it doesn't have any use, then let it go back. You don't have to pay nothing. But, you know, it's already available to you if you need to make a move and stuff right now. But, you know, your capital is what you need and stuff. And so, again, if you got this business and they need $100,000 and you got this credit for $100,000, then what do? You get on the grind, right? Because people are always talking about how much money that they're making out here in this, you know, they're making money out here in this trucking world. So if you need $100,000, they're 52 weeks in a year. It's 52 weeks in a year, so you dedicate yourself 1 year, right, to putting $2,000. You know, and people say, well, that's a hard thing to do. Well, that depends on how much you're dedicated to making your business and stuff grow. So, you know, for that first year, you putting $2,000 in there, you'll have all your stuff secured in that 1 year. And so that $100,000 that you borrowed, you paid it all back. And so what's the interest on it on 1 year? Very little. You know, but that's something that they don't expect. That's something that a lot of people, they don't expect you to do. But you see, when you have financial discipline, and you dedicate yourself to your business, you understand, okay, well, by me opening up this business freshly, it's going to take me I'm going to have 5 years of where I can write off a loss. And so people think because I'm making a settlement every week, right, that constitute profit. But when you look at all your startup costs and stuff, you know, all your startup costs, you don't have the money readily available right there. It's going to take time and stuff. And so they spread it out over 2 years, over 3 years, over 4 years, right? You know, broken down into increments, and then it depends on how you want to pay it. You know, you want to pay it all in one hit, you know, that's fine. You do that. If you want to pay it over time and stuff, that's cool too. You know, that's a safety cushion. You know, just like when you finance or something, you know, if business and stuff is great and you got monthly payments, then as long as you make your monthly payment, then the creditors aren't going to be coming in and asking for anything. You know, you might have the money to pay the equipment off, or you can take that money and move it into other places, right, that can start other business ventures and stuff, because you know that you have the money coming in consistently to ride stuff out, you know. I hope that what I said wasn't, I hope I wasn't speaking too quickly and I didn't confuse anybody and stuff. Let's say used trucks be way less than 18 months ago. Let's see, used trucks. Well, you know, trucking is a market where things fluctuate, right? So, you know, you done had a lot of businesses and stuff that go out, and so when you have an abundance of something, right? When you have an abundance of something and it's in your possession, you see, cause make no mistake about it, that Celadon, you know, that thing with Celadon, you know, a lot of people are still feeling that. A lot of investors are still feeling that and stuff like that. You know, they're not going to get any money. You know, those W900s, those international Lone Stars and stuff like that, all that debt that they accumulated during the quality days and stuff like that, you know, that's investors. So they're stuck with this equipment, the truck, the trailers, all these sort of things there. So they got to liquidate those assets to get whatever they can get, you know. And now when there's abundance of it and you a buyer, you know, you can see, man, shoot, I'm not gonna be paying no $40,000 for no truck, and you sitting over here, you got 400 trucks, you got 400 or 500 trucks and stuff, you know, at this auction, and you talking about $40,000 a piece. I'm not doing that. No, man, look, well, what can you give me? Hey, you take what you can get and stuff, man. You might, okay, I'll take a bulk of these trucks off your hand and stuff, like, I don't know, maybe 100 of them at $10,000 a piece, right? You know, you done lost out on the money that you were supposed to get. You got the creditors beating down your door and stuff and saying, man, look, you got to pay something. You got to get something and stuff that's in there, right? So, you know, yeah, I mean, right now, that's the way things is. But, you know, make no mistake now, once everything is said and done and all the trucks and stuff are gone, when a person comes up with a portfolio about what they're trying to do for their business, this thing's going to have to be rock solid now. They're not going to be taking any chances, you know. Well, to tell you the truth, I mean, let's look at the SBA loans. A lot of people are applying for these SBA loans and stuff, and right when they get them, they go right out here and do the wrong thing with them. Buying Lamborghinis, and they're buying Lamborghinis and jewelry and all this other stuff there. Just right off the cuff. Right off the cuff. That's money that's supposed to be for your business, and you already blowing it on nonsense. You're blowing it on nonsense because you figure, oh, well, I got 30 years of stuff to pay for it. And so what's going to happen is that people are going to default on the loans and stuff just like it did during the housing market, and then we're going to go into another great recession because there's plenty of money going out. There's not none coming in, even though people are saying, hey, this thing right here is a solid thing if you just give me the money necessary for me to get things on the up and up, to get things started. People are going to have to pay for that. And this is where business is going to become more and more difficult, unfortunately. But you know, for those who know how to, you know, they know how to work the system, so to speak, and stuff, to make things appear as though this is what they're doing, when in actuality they're not, man. Hey, it is what it is. So the best thing that people can do now, you know, which you know, a lot of people that get in the SBA, they saying now they are they're going to be enforcing jail time, prison time for people who use the funds incorrectly. So that's supposed to be a deviation right there and stuff for those who have the money or are thinking about getting it, not to go out here and just blow the money. But you know, for a person who's trying to start their business right and have that business mindset, they'll already know what to do. Unfortunately, it's not too many and stuff that know what to do when they get it, and they wind up doing the wrong thing and putting themselves into debt. And so now you got this debt, you don't have a business, and then you got to go work this regular job to get this stuff paid back, when this business that you had you taken the money and did what you're supposed to do with it, right? The credit, to do what you're supposed to do in your business, then the capital will be there necessary for you to carry you over and pay this loan and stuff back. So it's a repeat process of the same thing. It's a repeat process of the same thing. So, you know, we got to understand credit and capital works hand in hand. When you have the credit, that gives you the go-ahead to go out there and get the capital necessary for you to take care of your endeavors in your business. And so you take that same credit if you need it, and it's there and it's accessible. But you make sure it's to a point to where you can control it, because your capital is coming in based upon the consistency of the work that you do. All right? You got $100,000 loan. You got $100,000 loan for guys and stuff who got their trucks and stuff paid off. Okay. Well, and then you got $100,000 loan and stuff like that. What's wrong with dedicating yourself 1 year to working? You got $100,000 loan just in case anything goes bad on your business, right? And what's the worst case scenario? Oh, well, I'll blow a motor on my truck, right? I'll blow the motor in my truck and stuff, but I got $100,000, so I mean, shoot, what it's going to take, a rebuild? So it's going to take a rebuild and stuff like that. You got cash on hand, cash carry. People are sitting there right now in a kind of economical rut. You take, you know, something that probably would have cost you this amount, you know, you done saved another 10 grand because you got cash on hand. So they got their money, you got your business up and running, and so now you know, okay, well, instead of that $100,000 I was going to pay back in the first year, I can only pay back $80,000, right? So I'll just have to extend myself out a little bit in the next, you know, in the next coming quarters or whatever. The first year you got 80 grand set of capital. The next year you put the same $20,000, you put that $20,000 back that you borrowed on the credit and stuff, and then you say, okay, well, you know what, here's y'all money. What do I owe? Okay. You owe this and stuff right there, but you already got the capital on your business, again, on a worst case scenario. You still got that same truck, that same trailer, because a lot of guys say, well, I don't want no new truck, I don't want no new trailer. But you got it, you're running it. You know, you got your equipment, it's paid off and it's running and stuff like that, and you got everything, you know, you need done to it. and you pay this stuff back in 1 year. Man, I can't do that. Well, you don't have financial discipline. And that's something that people need to get, and they need to get that soon and in a hurry, you know, because all the nice stuff will come. But you notice that a lot of people, you know, you get to enjoy things and stuff down the road, but you know, you got the opportunity now. You got the opportunity now and stuff because certain things and stuff are available. Yeah, let me go over and take all these trips and stuff like that and treat the family and all this stuff out. You know, certain habits get formed, and so now it's time. Now it's grind time, and you can't do it because people think that, well, you always got money. You done spoiled your girlfriend or your wife. You done spoiled your family. You know, and grind time and stuff, you know, consists of you having to be out here. You know, you might not be seen, you know, as much as you used to and stuff. That's going to create problems because what's going to happen is that they're going to be saying, well, daggone, you know, back in, you know, a few months ago, you was here all the time and we was doing this and we was doing that. And now, you know, you just out here working and you ain't got time for us anymore, it seemed like. Because it's going to happen. Because, like I said before, you either going to be one or two things. You're going to be a, you're going to be a great business person, but you're going to be a horrible family man, or you're going to be a great family man, or you're going to be a great family man and a horrible business person. You're never going to have the combination of the two. It doesn't matter how you sit there and slicing and dicing. So, you know, just understand that what you do is a sacrifice, and what you're doing is for your family. So you're doing it for your family so that they can have the things and stuff that they need, you know, food, clothing, and shelter. No one's exempt. But, you know, as us being people, we always want the very best of everything. And so if we're able to provide those very best things for the ones that we love, then that's what we're going to do. They just have to understand the sacrifice that's made. You know, if it costs you, it may cost you a relationship and stuff or two, you know, either with your girlfriend, wife, or even your children. But, you know, they may have it from a mental perspective, right? That you're some kind of deadbeat person and stuff, but you know, the examples are all around them about the things that they're able to achieve. You know, they're eating every single day. You know, they're not having to stand down here in some kind of you know, government assistance line and stuff, right, in order to get food, clothing, and shelter. They're staying in the house. They understand, you know, what it means to have a front and backyard, ownership of things, you know, cars. They're able to take trips and see things, you know, and not just what they see in school, you know, little field trips. I'm talking about real tangible stuff. You know, they can go internationally and see things and stuff like that, you know. So it's the sacrifice that you put forward, you know, to do the very best for your children, because, you know, you don't want them to do the same things that you have to do. And you instill in them the business aspect things, so they don't move backwards, they move forward. So, you know, come 5 o'clock, they're home with their family, or they have invested their money so much is that the money is working for them all the time. So when the family needs something, they're there 100% of the time, you know. But it comes from the sacrifice of what you had to do, you know. Let's see. My truck, yeah, it's running a little bit. Blizzo, it's running a little bit better with the shocks and stuff like that. I ain't feeling a lot of tension and stuff on the road, but the damage has been done with the tires. So I gotta get those steel tires off here. If I want the ride to be complete, I gotta get those steel tires off there. And then I forgot to change the shocks on the cab, so I got to get those changed too. And then I think that'll probably take care of the whole issue and stuff there. But yeah, I got that, so that's fine there and everything. Let's see. Wise Owl. The word of the day is sacrifice. Yeah. Don't let nobody tell you no different, right? It takes a special type of people to get out here on this road and stay away from the house. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you are regional, if you're local, if you're over the road. The same situation applies to you. You know, if you're local, let's just say you're local and stuff, and then today was a bad day and you run out of time and you're 200 miles away from the house. You can't just drive the truck to the house. Is somebody gonna come and get you from 200 miles and then take you another 200 miles back to drive that truck? No, you're gonna go and get a motel room and stay in there the 10 hours just as provided by the FMCSA. That's something that you gotta do. Same thing if you're regional. You know, if you're regional, you know, again, the business is about transporting freight one point to the next. And so let's just have a load happens to come out and takes you outside of your region. What do? Oh no, I ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna go after this money. I'm not gonna go after this money, you know, the money that I need in order to sustain my business and my family and my growth. Because I need to be home. What good are you being at the house and stuff if you ain't got no money in your pocket? You know, what good are you? Oh, well, I'm at the house, but I can't do nothing with my kids. Oh, we can do all this free stuff. Go to the park and, you know, we can go to the park and all this other stuff there and everything. You know, that stuff gets old, man. Because you look around and you got a desire to want to do things and stuff for your family. You want to provide the very best that you can. You know, the kids don't ask to be here. And then you know how it was and stuff when you was growing up. It's like some things you wanted to do, but you couldn't do because at the time money was tough. But you know, now things are a lot more accessible. You know, you want to take your children to the beach and have a good time and stuff. You know, buy things there at the beach, even though it's overpriced. Yeah, but you know, it's the experience that you want to give the children. So when they grow up and they have children of their own and stuff, there aren't no excuses and stuff that's made. You know, it make them step with the best foot forward, just as you stepping with the best foot forward. But you know, it's gonna come at some sacrifice. Bottom line, you know, so you decide to do this for a living. If you decide to do this for a living, then some things you gotta understand, you're not gonna be home every day. You know, so they gotta, you know, if you're in a relationship, that's gotta hit home and stuff like that. Look, I'm not gonna be in this bed every night. We're not gonna be, you know, we can talk on the phone and, you know, things got a little bit better now as far as communication, but you know, as far as me being here physically, it's not gonna happen. We ain't got those things worked out yet. You know, people needs and stuff like that are steady going up. You know, they want next day delivery. You know, so logistics ain't really got to a point yet to where it hasn't gotten that way yet. It's trying to, but it's not there, and it's real far off and stuff. Because you know, I find myself working more now than I did when I first got out here in this industry. You know, maybe I know how to control things a little bit here and there and stuff, but for the most part, man, I'm working all the time. So, you know, logistics is not really under control like that. You know, regulation can be the very thing that keep you from being at the house the way you want to be. Guys, they ain't letting, you know, when that E-log hits 0, they want you parked somewhere. You know, bottom line, they don't even care if you daggone, you know, you 10 miles away from the house or whatever and stuff, man. No, you move that truck, you terminate it. So what do you do in that situation? You know, you 10 miles away and stuff like that. You know, you right there. Okay, well, take care of the task at hand and see if they grant you some permission to stay on the property. You know, no, you can't PC it. You can't PC it back to the terminal and stuff like that. You know, you might be under those type of people and stuff like that, and you know, and it's rightfully so, because insurance and stuff like that. I mean, you know, it's any little thing can happen. Somebody run into you. It ain't you and you're driving. It's somebody else's driving. You don't want to get caught out there and stuff, and they got lawyers, and these lawyers are very good. You know, when they're advertising on TV and on these billboards and stuff like that, that's for a reason, okay? It ain't no, you know, they ain't doing this stuff just to be doing it and stuff like that. And you see a lot of them out here doing it because they are very successful at, you know, these lawsuits and stuff, and that's something that you don't need to have. You know, even with you trying to acquire your own business, you know, they sit there and they have access to your capital now and stuff, and see, okay, well, yeah, you know, this guy got this amount of money right here, so hey, we'll settle for a couple $100,000, and it's not even your fault, you know. They ran into you, but because you ran out of hours and you call yourself PCing it somewhere, you know, and well, they're gonna side with the fact that, well, hey, if you hadn't PC'd, if you would have followed the laws, policies, and procedures that's set forth by the FMCSA, you would have never ran into that issue to start with. So, you know, now you out of money, or now you got to pay that money and stuff. And so, you know, that's a bad thing to do, to pay for something and not get nothing out of it. You know, $100,000, man. You know, you can think $100,000 you paying for something for somebody else, and it was their fault to start with. You know, that's not cool. But and I know I'm not saying that that's going to happen to everybody, but you know, it's just a real scenario, and we see these things every day. We just don't want it to be you that's caught up in that. So, you know, yeah, you see them, you know, you see them, man. Shoot, they advertise, you know, they advertising hard, man. But they don't play around either. They do not play around either and stuff, man. They mean business, you know. They take those ads out and stuff, man, and people coming down there and something that they did, and now they saying they suffering from brain damage. Right now, you in court, and your representation ain't as good as theirs because they study these things night and day. You just going out here and getting some attorney or whatever, you know, and they talk too, and he coming back to you saying, well, listen, man, this thing ain't looking good, and you're gonna have to settle because this thing go to court. You're gonna have to be paying this, but you know, I talked them down to this amount right here and stuff, and then now you got to pay that money. And they ain't satisfied. And the fact that you paid the settlement, now they coming back at you again with something else. You know? So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a funny business and stuff that we in. And that sacrifice is, bro, I'm telling you, man, you know, I know we in it for the money and whatnot, but you know, seriously, man, it's a lot of elements that go on out here, and we know it, and everybody else knows it too, but they're not gonna understand it the way you understand it. You know, you got to be out here in the thick of it. You know, if you're gonna stay out here, you got to be in the thick of it and stuff. You know, the wife ain't trying to hear it, or you know, whoever you dating and stuff, they ain't trying to hear it, but you trying to keep the relationship on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna get weak. Let's keep it real. Somebody gonna get weak, and you know, when you got a weak mentality versus money, a weak mentality and money, somebody gonna get weak. You know, somebody gonna get weak and stuff, man. I mean, you know, someone send you a message and everything and stuff like that. One thing leads to another, and now, you know, what's your excuse? Oh, well, you know, you wasn't around at the time I needed you. I'm out here on the road and I'm dealing with this, that, or whatever and stuff, and things ain't going right at the house, and so I got weak. And stuff, man, and she was around or he was around and stuff like that, you know, the same thing. You get home and somebody's sleeping in your bed, messing with your head, taking your place. Somebody gonna be driving your car, eating your food, spending your money, wearing your clothes, around your children. Somebody gonna get weak. That means somebody gotta be strong. So, you know, it happens. I just hope it doesn't happen to anybody and stuff that I know. You know, I don't want it to happen to anyone, but it happens. And it comes again with that sacrifice, you know. But I know I said I was gonna cover that question. Dior, you asked that question about the 60,000 DD15 with 60,000 miles, 600 to 800,000 miles on it. Like I was covering down my last live feed, is that if you get a truck like that and it's up in miles, you know, 600 to 800,000, some stuff you're gonna have to start, some things you're gonna have to start considering. Number one, how much knowledge do you have in this industry, right? For you to even be purchasing a used truck to start with, you know, that's question number one. How much knowledge do I have about the industry itself to be purchasing a used truck? Because a lot of people who purchase used trucks are usually people who have a very extensive knowledge about what they're going to do in the industry. It's not something that's recommended for somebody that's starting their business out. You know, if you have very little insight, very little knowledge about the business, then no, you need to stay away from trucks that got high knowledge on them. Because if something happens on the equipment, you might be taking your truck somewhere to get it worked on, but because you don't know the severity of it, right, you're spending money on something that you really didn't need to be spending money on. You know, like for instance, you see, when I went in and get that when I get that air valve done on my truck, they charged me $1,000. No, well, they charged me they charged me $1,000 to fix an air leak and to change a brake chamber. So anybody that has any knowledge about the industry, they know, okay, changing a valve in a brake chamber, you're talking about what, an hour, maybe an hour and a half at the most. He's sitting there talking about it took him 5-6 hours. So, you know, see, that was my mistake. That was my mistake for not screening the guy, right? You know, I should have just took it somewhere else where I know that the job and stuff was simple and they couldn't screw it up. But if you're in that situation there where you absolutely don't know, right, and then you're taken advantage of and you think that, oh, well, that's just the norm, okay. But then now you're spending all this type of money on things, you know, you're getting this bill and this bill here and stuff, and it's going from, you know, you're sitting there $2,000 on this, another $3,000 on this that could have been taken care of very simply. So, you know, it's how much knowledge you have about the industry and how much knowledge you have about the truck. If you have very good knowledge about the truck, then, and you know where to go when certain things and stuff happen, you know, like I said, DD15, you know, that's a post-emission truck. That's a post-emission truck. So with post-emission truck, gonna come with post-emission problems. You know, when that orange light of death began to start flashing, where are you gonna take your equipment to? The manufacturer? Where they're gonna sit there, run a series of tests and say that, well, hey, you need a one box. You know, where after they done changed the DEF bladder system and all the extensive components that go to your emission system, after they changed that, then they came up with the conclusion that now the one box and stuff is bad, and you got $15,000 tied up in repairs. You see what I'm saying? Because of not having understanding about the industry. Let's take me for instance, right? Same situation, $15,000, $1,000, and I realized is that the situation could have been resolved by $3,500 had I took it to the proper doctor at the proper time that it happened. But I was in denial because of me not having that understanding about what I had, right? I understood the truck, I just didn't understand a post-emission. I didn't understand that. And so, you know, now I'm sitting there paying that money and then the $3,500 too, and just noticed that, hey, after I paid the after I went and had the surgery, I didn't have any more problems and stuff out of that issue where I was going in with that issue every single week. So, you know, when you get in a truck with high mileage on, you need to understand the variables and stuff that came with it. What did they do with the equipment? Where did it come from? You know, what steps I need to take, you know, because if the truck has 800,000 miles on it, once you get 850,000 miles and you look at that truck and that truck ain't got no generator on it, you got your first million on it, because you got 850,000 miles of driving, you got another 150,000 miles and stuff which consist of your engine hours, you know, your idling, you know, whether you idle your truck, you know, because again, it ain't got no APU on it, so ain't nobody gonna be sitting in the daggone truck burning up and freezing to death. They ain't doing that, you know. So when you add up all those hours there and stuff, you got your first million. So with the first million, you know, what are you going to be doing as far as like getting certain components and stuff taken care of? You know where you're going to go to get your rebuild. Who's going to be doing your rebuilding? You know, let's see, 2,400 a year spent in death. So you think you get that 35 back? No, you don't. You see, that's the other thing. That's the other thing about having a post-emission truck. You know, that death, you can write off diesel fuel. You can't write off death. You can't write off death fluid. That's supposed to be environmental, and it's a business expense. Well, it's not even a business expense. You can't even write it off. You know, you got guys and stuff that's buying, 2 gallons. You buying 2 gallons of death over here and stuff, man. At how much is it? About $10 a hit. And you need 5 gallons to, well, you need 5 gallons to fill it up. You can't write death off. You can write off diesel all day long. Can't write death off for some reason. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, I mean, you see what I'm saying? That's an expense in your business, but you can't write it off. So you know what I'm saying? So you got that variable right there you got to worry about and stuff. Man, I mean, death, death is it's a part of business. You got to have it because, that red light get to blinking and you don't put no death in this thing, man. Well, now it's going to start, it's going to send that code to your ECM and derate your truck. And see, and you can't just put death back in it and stuff and then, okay, well, the truck is going to go okay. You got to go to the shop and get the whole thing reset and stuff again. That's going to cost some more money. So, depending on where you go to, they might say, well, Freightliner fences, they got 2 types. They got a 45-minute regen. They got the 4-hour regen. So naturally, what they're gonna say, well, you got to reset. We got to reset it and stuff. So we got to do a 4-hour regen at $150 an hour, just to make so your truck and stuff can drive normally because you ran out of depth. Like I said, so many variables and stuff in it in a system that's not solid. Well, when it depends on what kind of surgery you get. It depends on what kind of surgery you get and stuff. I mean, it might need it, it might not. But it doesn't make sense. Why could you? Let's see. Why couldn't you write it off if you're an own operator? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, own operator, company driver, whatever. You can't write death off. I had to find. Well, I knew that before I even got the equipment. A lot of guys and stuff, they were talking about it. And it's a business expense and stuff, but it's not something that you write off. You turn, when you turn your fuel receipt, you turn your fuel receipts and stuff in and everything. They do not, death. No, they don't need it. That's just a operate. They say that they give it to you based upon smart technology. If you qualify for that, but the only way you qualify for that is you got to have a certain number of equipment. And it's not just death and stuff. You got to have. It has to be smart technology certified. If you take it there, then you're able to write it off that way and stuff. But shoot, the qualifications for it and stuff. They're only giving it to people who's gonna be getting equipment in bulk. You'll save that way. But as far as writing off all the things that go into it, no, they don't let you do it. Yeah, man. Just getting back to that situation again with trucks with high miles on and stuff. Again, DD15. Just like I said, it doesn't matter what motor you run in your equipment. It doesn't matter what motor you run. There's not one truck better. There's not one motor out here better than another motor. That's just someone's preference. Whatever your preference is, that's what it's going to be. Just like your car. Some people like Cadillac. Some people like Chevrolet. It's just your preference. What you want under the hood and stuff. But power is something that's maintained by people who understand the dynamics of the truck. But yeah, if you get in the truck and and it's got 800,000 miles on it, and you got very little insight about the industry, then no, a used truck is not the way to go for you, because there's too much stuff that you got to learn out here and stuff. And again, there's no colleges, there's no college that you can go to. There's not enough videos that I or anyone else out here can produce to give you a total and complete understanding about the industry. It's something that you got to learn, and in this learning process, it can be costly. It can be costly and stuff. And so we try to alleviate things and stuff and put it in its proper place as far as learning stuff. You got to learn. Some people want to run off the they want to run off the load board and stuff, and so that's fine, running off the load board, but just make sure that your equipment is, you ain't got to be worrying about the load board and the equipment at the same time. And what I recommend, if you got very little time in the industry, just get you a brand new truck, because you got you a brand new truck, you got bumper to bumper warranty, and then you can begin to learn things as it begins to go out. Here's some of the things and stuff like that. Get insight about how things and stuff work. So as the truck gets older, you'll become more wiser, because certain issues and stuff to tackle. When I got my first truck, and stuff, my very first truck when I became an own operator was with Dart. It was a brand new truck. Brand new 9400. So what did I start doing to get my PM service? I took it to the dealership. And stuff, man. Shoot, for a PM service, they charged me $700 for a PM service. And then, like, that's way too much money. So then I started learning about Speedco and stuff, and said, okay, well, I'll take it to the Speedco now. And I saved $300. I saved $300 and stuff. And so, then I started learning, okay, well, what about the TA and the wing foot and stuff like that? So then I started saving another $100, and they ain't doing anything any different. They just turning the bolt, dropping the oil, taking the old filters off, putting the new filters on, retort the bolt, and then putting back the oil and stuff. 9 gallons of oil and 1 gallon of Lucas. That's something you can do yourself. If you had the to be honest with you, if you can change, if you had the stuff right, you could just change it yourself. But you start working on your truck, oh, that's a problem. Now somebody got to come out there and start, well, what are you doing? What are you doing and stuff, now you got to explain. Like, man, look, I'm just changing my oil. I'll holler at you when I get done. But shoot. That type of stuff there. If you had somewhere to dump that oil, you can change it yourself. Drop the oil, put the new filters on and stuff, man. Check your oil pressure, make sure everything's on the up and stuff, and you in, you out. But that's the thing there and stuff. Like, you learn those things as you go along in business. A lot of this stuff, I know people want to, the complete total insight, and I wish I could give you that, but unfortunately, hey, I'm kind of buying for time too and stuff. And then there's some things, even with me explaining it, you still won't understand it until you actually go through the process yourself. But having that knowledge, you don't have to do it the way it was told to you and stuff. You might see a new or a more efficient way of doing something, and then I just hope that with you learning that, you can bring that information out for let's see what he say. But yeah, that's the name of the game, Dan stuff, man. You're not gonna learn everything and stuff in just one hit. And this ain't the Matrix where we can just plug stuff up and then we got all the insight. Oh well, yeah. Now I learn how to do it. It's gonna take time. It's a learning process. Hey, don't feel. Man, sometimes it's just like riding a bike and stuff. You didn't get it on the first try. You fell off the bike and it hurt. You scraped your knee and stuff like that. But but you got back on the bike again because you know, hey, listen, man, hey, this thing right here, if I get it down pack and I learn how to balance it, and stuff like that. And so now you riding the bike, and then next thing you know, now you walking the bike, and you doing all these tricks on it. You know, now you setting world records. Yeah, but that's all it is, man. I mean, you know. So let's go ahead and give a recap about today's topic: capital over credit. Well, capital and credit in the trucking industry. Your objective is to get capital. Your objective is to get capital because capital is something that you can control and stuff based upon the money that you make in your business. Credit is something that's controlled by other people. They set the interest rates, how much you can borrow, so on and so forth, just like lease programs and stuff like that. Yeah, you're an own operator, but someone's in control of the equipment that you're borrowing or you're renting or you're leasing or whatever and stuff. And so ultimately you want to be in control of all those things there because you can do things more efficiently, right? As opposed to setting up your business based upon what other people have set up. You know, you'll know what kind of money that you can make for yourself. So if credit is extended to you, then again, you have to have an understanding of how you're going to pay the money and stuff back. Just because it's available to you and they're giving you a large, substantial sum doesn't mean that that means that you are qualified from a business perspective. You're qualified from a credit perspective. Yeah, they're willing to give you the money, but you don't want to lose it all if you don't have a plan. And so your plan is ultimately to take that credit and make it work for you by putting in place the capital that you make in your business so that you're not relying so much on the credit to get things and stuff started because you got your capital necessary. You're borrowing against yourself. You know that your interest, you can control the interest, the payments, all these things when you're borrowing against yourself, which means that you set the financial disciplines in yourself as far as the money and stuff go. You can control all that. With credit, you can't do it. If they say we're charging 20% on the interest, then that's what it's going to be. You're going to have to pay that 20%. Now, however, by you coming into capital means that you can pay back that credit and stuff a little bit sooner than usual. Or you can just use that safety net, which you have to pay every 28 days for 28 days, every 12 times once a year. You got a 28-day cycle. That's when payment and stuff is due, and so you pay it and you move on. So the thing is that if you have the credit, use the credit to your advantage to ultimately where it's working for you. Your credit's working for you, your capital's working for you. You doubled up what you have. If you have $100,000 in capital, you have $100,000 in credit. You got it in the bank where it's collecting interest, and so what you do, you take the interest and pay back the loan and stuff like that. Meanwhile, money is making money like it's supposed to. You're increasing your capital. That way, you get to a point where you don't need credit at all. Everything is done on your capital. But again, your capital is there. Your credit is there if you need it, right? To move on to things and stuff to where it's going to work for you and not you going to work for it. Your capital is there in place of the credit that you once upon a time needed in order to operate your business. And so when you're ready to get it, you can get in. There's no penalties. Nobody charging you or even asking you any questions as to why you're getting the money. Okay, so it's not that one is better than the other. You ultimately want these things to work in tandem. You want your credit and your capital to work in tandem with each other. That way you can increase. That way you're ultimately increasing your capital and stuff, your bottom line, so you're able to go out here and do certain things if you need to do it in your business. No asking questions or filling out applications or whatever and stuff like that. In fact, they're coming to you and you're not going to them. This is the ultimate goal that I hope everyone's working towards, to get complete and total independence. We all want to be debt free and stuff, but it takes money to make money, unfortunately. But we don't have to be over our heads in debt, right? This is why we need financial discipline. So when you have those hundreds of thousands of dollars in your bank account, that you're not going over here and you're buying things and stuff, You're not needlessly going out here and buying these things and stuff to impress other people that aren't even on your level. You know, you don't have to go down here and get Lamborghinis and Bugattis and all this stuff here and going down here to your high school reunion, or just going to people that you know aren't making what, maybe $50,000-$60,000 a year just to show that you made it. You know, you don't have to do that. You know, life is not about that. Life is about sacrificing for oneself and one's family to make sure that you have the three essentials: food, clothing, and shelter. You have these three things right there and stuff, you'll be okay in all aspects. You know, it's not about showing off. It's not about being the biggest out here, just being the baddest. You know, you don't have to have a whole slew of things and stuff. You know, you can make good and stuff with the one thing that you have, as long as you're satisfied with it. You know, if you want to grow and you want to expand, do it the right way. You know, you don't have anything to prove to anybody except yourself, so you owe it to yourself to do the very best you can at all times. Step with the best foot forward at all times. Don't sit there and stuff and make it think it's about other people or what other people think, and so on and so forth, because at the end of the day, you got to live with yourself. You got to live with yourself. It starts with self and then end with self. So whatever you start, be willing to finish. You know, don't give time, energy, and resource to people that don't mean you well and stuff. You know, some things and stuff that you're going to have to learn, but you know, some people are not going to be on your level of thinking and your level of growth. You got to let them be what they're going to be and stuff. You know, becoming an own operator, for instance, it's going to be a bad idea to most people, but when you look at it from a business perspective, people are actually cool and content working for other people. That's why there's not a lot of businesses and stuff out here. You know, the business owners are very small. You know, that's why you talk about Jeff Bezos and all the billions of dollars that he has and all the facilities and stuff like that. While you go in there making $15 an hour, you know, people are cool and content with that. You know, once upon a time, Jeff Bezos didn't have all that. He started his business by selling books, him and his wife. That's how they started out and stuff. This is how all people started out. They didn't have a silver spoon in their mouth, you know. They started with the very basics, but they said that we'll dedicate ourselves to the growth of the business. And so now, you know, you pretty much own the world. And even then, you're not really showing off. You just saying, man, hey, look, it is what it is. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. You got to come to me. I don't come to you. But the things that I present to you are things of convenience. They're things of convenience, and you can just consume yourself to death, you know, and I'll just collect all the money and stuff, and that's that. Again, you know what kind of car Jeff Bezos drive? Nope. Mark Zuckerberg, yeah, we know these people and stuff like that, but what about the countless billionaires and stuff that are out here? If one walk right past you right now, you probably ain't know who he is, but we know plenty of these millionaires who come down here. They don't come down here and show off amongst themselves. They come and show off to people who don't have the same kind of money that they have, you know. Yeah, of course you can go and show your $2 million car off and stuff to me that's only making $200,000 a year, you know. Yeah, I guess you can do that and stuff. I mean, that makes you a big person because of that. Look at the logic in that. You know. So what are you going to be ultimately? What are you going to be ultimately? You know, make your capital grow. Use what's necessary to get what you need and stuff. And so, you know, keep moving on to the next level. You keep it moving. Those that aren't with you and stuff like that, let them be where they're going to be. Don't bring them along with you, because, you know, some people aren't able to carry that load as you're carrying. You know, we want all people to succeed and stuff, but unfortunately, you're going to have to leave some people behind. You know, some are going to be some ones that you love. You know, that's the sacrifice of being a business person. Understand that, well, you're not going to be the greatest husband or wife, or you're not going to be the greatest child in the family and stuff like that, you know. But the thing is that the legacy that you leave behind is something that they know. It's that they know they can use and stuff, you know. You get the essentials that they need: food, clothing, and shelter. You know, they're just going to be an abundance of it. You know, they're not having to get out here and stuff and buy their first house. You know, they can go out here, whatever house they want to purchase, they can get. thanks to your hard work and stuff and your discipline, your sacrifice, so that your children, when they have children of their own, they when they're ready to be around their children, they can be around them and stuff. Hey, we want to be around our kids and our loved ones and stuff, but unfortunately, this is the business that we're in, and it comes with, it comes with its sets of up and downs and stuff like that. But it is what it is. This is the business that we're in. This is the life we chosen. But it could be worse. It definitely could be worse. But we try to do for the better. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that's my time and stuff for today. I hope that the information that I gave was helpful. My information is on my page and stuff. Y'all just feel free to hit me up. Let me know what the comment, let me know what the concern is and stuff like that. That way I can get prepared. So when we do talk, we can go in constructive dialogue. Also, I'm not gonna be doing it. I'm off tomorrow, so the thing is, you just call me directly tomorrow and stuff. If you just call direct, you don't have to text. You call me directly, but if you don't get a phone call, well, if you call me and I don't pick up and stuff, just know somebody beat you. Somebody beat you and stuff like that. And so I don't really click over and stuff and say, hey, listen, call you back and all this stuff there, guys. I don't want to get lost in my chain of thought. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just on the phone with somebody else. And so when I get free, I'll hit you back and stuff. I'll text you, hey man, listen, I'm free. I got caught up with this, that, my thing there. I want to give everybody 100% attention so that they have a complete understanding about the subject matter, so you're not walking away with confusion. And with that being said, it's your man right here, the one, the only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster, telling you as always, continue to do your research, fact-finding studies, harness on your skills every day. Until next time we talk, next time we meet, be safe, be easy, and peace out.